We remember the day the stars answered, the day we learned we were not alone.
Having grown up in the American desert of Arizona, you'd think I'd be used to living in harsh, uninhabitable conditions. But not quite. Having been contacted by an initiative calling themselves Humanity First, I was flown to Kazakhstan to help build a solar energy station for their new station, Molly Base. I quite enjoy my work, looking upon the launch site and knowing that the components I create with my hands will soon be helping to protect the Earth. But even with those thoughts and reassurances, the heat doesn't get much easier to deal with in this damn desert. What I would do to get out of this constant heat, I said. What I would do to help protect the Earth, I said. Well, eventually, I guess they got tired of me and launched me to space with a new solar power module. As a lowly mechanic to keep the damn thing working. Looking over the failures me and my team made on Earth and cursing the complexities of this damn thing. I can't complain. Living in space as a mechanic is a dream. But I can only hope that we make this station great. And that I can get a better job. Before we get into today's episode of Terra Invicta, something about the block zone. You know, you need something to do when you're not actually at the PC. It might be a foreign concept to you, but, well, sometimes you just want to do something else. And the block zone has you covered. They have all sorts of projects. For example, the one that I'm personally waiting for, it should be arriving very shortly, is the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon capsule, which is actually one of their smaller projects. It only has 506 pieces. Only 506, I say, because there are projects such as the Russian Soyuz, which have 3,700 pieces. That's a lot. Now, they don't just have space and astronomy, of course. They got all sorts of different categories, such as a bunch of cars and vehicles, supercars, off-road buggies, military vehicles. They even have a whole group of remote-controlled projects. So these are all sorts of things, all sorts of projects, including, for example, a remote-controlled Tiger tank that you can build and then control remotely. Now, I have a lot of projects wishlisted. I have quite the wish list at the block zone. So I'm going to be trying to get some more of these projects. And if you wanted to get a project, be sure to add the code STEALTH on this or on checkout, because you get 10% discount. And I am getting an affiliate cut, which means you're supporting the channel by getting one of these projects. And of course, add the code STEALTH upon checkout. So check out the block zone, linked down below in the description, linked down below in the pinned comment, and add code STEALTH on checkout to get your 10% discount. Hey guys, Stealth here, and welcome to episode 4 of the Terra Invicta Humanity First playthrough. I've built up a bunch of boosts. We're now sitting on 10.8, and after having surveyed Luna, I can now see a couple of interesting spots. It was recommended that I take a priority on getting water. Why? Because it is required for fuel. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Piri crater, and this is going to have a little bit of water, a little bit of volatiles, and a bit of metal. That happens to be a bunch of the resources that I really quite need in order to get my aerial, or to get my construction in space going. So let's set up an outpost. This is going to be in the Piri crater. The other display, or the other positions, the Korolev crater has been taken by the Academy, and we have the Resistance in the Shackleton crater, but neither of them have water. So I have some potential lead here. We're going to send these guys out there. It's going to take me 35 days to get there. And that means we have our first outpost. Now, these outposts right now don't do a whole lot. They're just there to claim stuff. And, if I'm not mistaken, they will start to mine materials the moment that I start to attach mining rigs to them. At the moment, however, I cannot build those, unless I'm completely mistaken. Speaking of being completely mistaken, there are a lot of things I simply do not yet know about the game. So, don't take what I do or what I say as the absolute perfect thing, because it is definitely not. There are going to be a lot of mistakes. There are going to be things that I simply don't know about yet. Now, I think that this is going to be an interesting position to go for, space mining and refining. In order to get there, I'm going to have to do a little bit of influencing on the global tech trees. This one's almost complete. Well, not as much as this one is, Mission to Mars. you can see that the Project Exodus, not the Academy Exodus, has contributed a lot. I've contributed absolutely nothing because I'm trying to get the Purify the Earth mission complete. And with that, I'll be able to take a bunch more control points. It also spins off a new organization for the faction pool. Now, what I haven't done in a while is have a look at my counselors and see what they are up to, what they can do. You have the ability to augment your counselors, so I can tell Iris to start improving her science output at the cost of 20 experience. I'm going to have her do that again. I want to get the science stat up as high as possible because each stat increases the science research income, the counselor's research income by 1%. So the amount of research that she's doing for me is really quite substantial because this is 58 per month out of a total of 281 per month. So she is contributing quite a bit. Okay, so that's Iris. What else do we have? We have Alex. What can we have Alex do? He has an okay loyalty stat, which I figured out after doing some research into him. I think higher persuasion stats is going to be a very useful thing. I need a high espionage stat on one of these guys, and that of course is going to be Louise. The reason I want a high espionage stat on this guy is that I want to be able to start doing crackdowns on control points that are not mine. And a crackdown mission or a purge mission is very much one that requires espionage. So we're going to boost the espionage trait twice, making sure that his stats improve there. And I saw that the Proteus Foundation, as well as the 7th USSF group, is available. That's quite interesting. It's going to cost me a bit of money per month, but it's going to give me more ops, it's going to give me more command, and it's going to give me more security. The real question is, who's going to benefit most? Command is the ability to lead combat operations, so there's not really good work for the judge. I think Alex... Yeah, Louise isn't that great at it, unfortunately. And I cannot recruit another counselor yet. In order to do that, I'm going to have to do more research. Alternatively, we get additional 2 ops income. No. This is welfare. We also got Theta Interactive, which is going to give me +2 espionage. That's quite nice. I just need to be boosting the espionage stat of this guy. But sadly, he already has this. He has the Astrancia Interactive, allowing me to steal projects and gaining 1 espionage. I need more espionage. So, if I want to unequip this... Yes. What? You cannot get that? Yeah, I can. It's just a bit twisted. Okay, fine. Oh, insufficient admin cap. Right. Because it's a 2-star, probably. Okay, so that was a bit of a waste, because now I have to re-equip it for another bit of influence and money. Right, so in that case, we're going to have to assign this to somebody else. I do want that Special Forces group, because it is a lot of mission, or a lot of ops income. I currently have 36, this is +5, that's really nice to get. Also, Gustav does not yet have any factions or any organizations whatsoever. Yeah, let's give you the 7th Special Forces group. Purchase that. It's going to cost me a lot of influence, but so be it. I think it's well worth it. Now, this is going to take me a little bit of time, and at least I have made my mark on the moon. So that is something, but I cannot mine it yet. So for now, we're going to have to do quite a bit of waiting. And what I'm doing in the meanwhile is trying on Earth to dislodge... Yeah, there we go again. To dislodge the Academy from the control point in Russia. Because what I've learned as I was doing a bit of testing on Terra Invicta off screen is that if you have all the control points and there are other factions, if you will, or other nations that you have, such as Kazakhstan, in the same union or the same federation, you can integrate them. But only if you have all the control points of all the nations involved. And then you have to wait 6 months, I believe. So, I'm trying to dislodge the Academy here, to give me complete control of Russia. And with that, I can start to merge these, but this is going to take me a while. A little while later, there has been some unification. This is interesting, because the European Union, that I believe already comprised... No, actually not yet. I thought it had the Benelux in it as well. It doesn't. It is Germany and France who've decided to form the European Union. They must have had control points of both Germany and France under their control, and with that, they've decided to merge this into one. Now, why is that a good thing? Simple. Because by doing this, you save control points. An alternative way of going about this is by waging war. It's a bit of a different method of going about things. But if you have, for example, Uzbekistan, I could declare war by setting a national policy and then sending in my army to conquer the area. I think it's going to cause quite a bit of devastation, so I'm not really interested in doing that. But it is a way to go about your business. It is probably not the best way to go about it, but hey, it's a way if you want to go and save a couple of control points. As for my attempts to dislodge in Russia, I'm trying to build a popular support. You can see that the red part of the circle is growing up nicely. We're 28%. The enemy, which is the academy at 7%, they don't have a lot, but they're defended. And that defense is going to run through March. So I have about half a year before I'm going to be able to try and do some form of an assault on the control point. When it comes to the grand scale of things, that is not that important. Simply because the campaign tends to run for a long time. I've heard people say that the campaign can run for anything up to 30 years of in-game time, and potentially longer depending on how well you're doing. So yes, you have a lot of time to correct your mistakes, but this game being designed by the guys from Long War, there is the potential that you make a mistake, let's say in 2023, that's going to come back to haunt you in 2028. So you might have already lost the game, in essence. You might have already lost the campaign, and you simply don't know it yet. It's a bit of a frustrating part of the game, but hey, so be it. During your playtime, every once in a while, you might have one of these situation reports. There are xenoforms detected in the Santiago region. We've detected what appears to be alien microbes and plants in the Santiago region of Chile. They are thriving and threaten to displace the native biota, which strangely does not seem to be resisting their advances to the degree we would expect. A direct application of force, either via council or mission or army operation, should be able to reduce or even eliminate its spread. We will begin preparations for a research project to better understand this phenomenon. Now, this doesn't really affect me. This is currently within the hands of the Protectorate. Well, I suppose that they need to do what they do best, which is protect. This is going to be their mess to clean up. It's not really my concern. They get to do what needs to be done about this alien flora and fauna, and if not, well, they're going to be the ones to face the consequences. Before it gets to me, we'll probably have quite a bit of time, and even then I can always send in either the 1st Guards Army, the 8th, or the 20th. So I still have some time to respond to these situations. A little while later, it's almost 2024, or rather, it is 2024, and I've gotten a warning saying that the alien growth in Chile is getting out of control. I'm considering going in there just to see what I can do. I can assault an alien asset, but it's going to cost, or it's going to come with a 10% chance of success. So, my chance of actually completing this op, even if I throw in a lot of ops points, is not great. What I need for this is a high command stat.
Where do you need
the highest command stat
reporting in
is Alex, with 3. But he cannot complete the mission. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but I'm really not going to be able to do much. I'm kind of going to sit there and wait. In the meanwhile, though, I have noticed that I have a few control points available. Or rather, a few of my control cap. I'm thinking of getting Mongolia. Or, actually no, let's have a look. What other regions would or could be interesting to try and get? Kyrgyzstan. It's not defended. Is it possible to do a purge on Kyrgyzstan? Here. Yes. There's a pretty good chance that I can swap the control point over to my side. If I throw in some influence, that's going to go even better. And that might make it one large block of nations here. In the meanwhile, I'm also working on the Deep Space Skywatch. I'm trying to contribute as much as possible so that I can pick the next research project so I can start mining on the moon, but it's not easy. The Academy, surprise surprise, has a lot of research power and is throwing all of its weight behind this project. So, actually not even all of it, they're also doing this one at the same time, Mission to the Asteroids. So at the moment there is not really that much that I can do to try and sway this, but Purify the Earth should be coming up any minute. There we go. We've been fighting back for some time now, doing all we can to protect the human race from an invasion that shows no signs of slowing down. But playing defense indefinitely is not a long-term solution, especially when other factions on Earth want to throw in the towel. It's time to play offense before it's too late, and at last we've worked out exactly how we're going to do that. So, this is going to create a significant increase in our control point cap, and I can go up to 166. Without paying an influence or a higher maintenance cost. I also get 100 influence, so I have quite a bit of opportunity to expand aggressively. With this objective complete, I have a new objective. I need to start looking into these alien abductions and figure out what they're trying to accomplish and how we can sabotage this. I need to acquire samples of the aliens and their tech, and I need to exploit them to drive them from Earth and make sure they don't come back. Easy to say, hard to do. Yeah, absolutely. This is not going to get easy. Let's see, what would I most benefit from? Alien Flora is going to say how much, or is going to give me a bit more information. Alien Operations allows detection of alien ops. This might be useful. I already have quite a nice bonus here, a 9% boost to this category. Clandestine Cells, however, manages an additional counselor. That is interesting. It is also 600 points. Let's do Alien Ops, but spend almost nothing. I want to go with 25%. So I'm going to try and throw as much into deep space or deep system Skywatch as possible, which also happens to be an objective. Well, actually, no. Sorry, not for this faction. It is for another faction, it's not for this faction. So, we're still waiting for the ability to start kicking these guys out of Russia. But my influence is currently so great over Russia that it might be a little easier. We're just going to have to be a little bit more patient and wait until this protection detail lifts on 31st of March 2024. It is now the 19th of January 2024, and if you leave megafauna, or rather if you leave the alien fauna unchecked, this is what can happen. Megafauna rampaging through Santiago. A massive grouping of alien and Earth megafauna is rampaging across the Santiago region of Chile, killing civilians and damaging infrastructure. Only a military intervention can stop it. So at this point you're going to have to send in the troops, not the counselors, if you want to try and stop this nonsense before it takes over the whole country. And potentially, after that, the continent. Again, it's... well, right now it is not that much of an issue. For me. But I suppose that Argentina feels entirely different about that. And after that, Brazil is also going to have a bit of an issue. I don't know if this particular continent has any armies. Because I can see them from other countries. I can see, for example, the British. They have their 1st Armor Division. But I'm not seeing any military factions, any armies over here in South America. Which is really quite bad news for Argentina, as the alien megafauna appears to be on the move. And holy shit. Yeah. Good luck with that. I'm glad I'm not in South America right now. This is entirely their problem. Good luck, boys. On February 4th, 2024, it becomes obvious that the aliens have not come in peace. Images of obvious alien military ships and structures in the far solar system has dashed hopes worldwide for peaceful contact. Many who wished to seek an avenue of cooperation with the aliens are changing their views in light of some of the first hard facts about their arrival. You mean how an alien megafauna is rampaging around Chile, for example? Now, the road ahead is fraught. Roughly half of the control points belonging to the Academy will suffer the crackdown effect for 12 months. The Academy suffers a massive loss in public opinion around the world, and all nations' cohesion move 1 towards extreme values. So this is really good news, because the Academy right now is controlling that last control point that I want in Russia. So by getting that crackdown, I should be able to kick them out of Russia once and for all, and make sure that I get the whole of Russia under my control, and I can start to connect these countries into one massive superstate. That's the plan. In the meanwhile, we have a little bit of activity going on in Mongolia, which has now taken over, or rather I have taken over in Mongolia. This is also going to be another province of Russia. Just don't tell the Mongolians yet. Interestingly, the Academy, this particular control point, has not suffered a crackdown. Surprise, surprise. So this might be one of those things from early access. It might be because it was already defended, and those which are not defended, such as, let's see, where else are they? Here, Slovakia. This has definitely suffered a crackdown, and they have a lot of crackdowns happening. These two, they actually defended, but these are not. So, in a way, the European Union could be up for grabs. It's gonna cost me a lot of control points, but if I can get that, that would be phenomenal. What are my chances of doing a campaign here? Because if I can get the European Union to join my side, as weird as that sounds, let's start doing a campaign real quick. And Lewis, what's your chance to do a purge? 0%. Fantastic. Yeah, they got their interest defended, they got control points in rivals' hands, they got a high national economy, and I have almost no popular support. So this is, right now, not an option. We're gonna have to be a little bit more patient. Anything else I can try and take over? We've got Kyrgyzstan, we've got Uzbekistan. How about just a couple of defend missions here? So that I can defend my interest and make sure that Uzbekistan doesn't desert. As for Iris, I don't really have a mission for her most of the time, so a lot of the time she's just laying low, doing much of nothing.
Going off the grid.
Taking a vacation. When it comes to research, I'm contributing a lot to the mass driver research over there. Once that's complete, I can set my own research priority. That's what I want to get. I want to start mining the moon.
Going into hiding.
Here we go. Now I can set the research priority. So I can set space mining and refining. This is a requirement for the global space tax. In situ research utilization, so ISRU, as you might know it's from Kerbal Space Program, basically means you're using stuff where you find it. Industrialization of space. And it's a requirement for outpost mining complex for faction projects. So this is the overarching research project. I complete this, and then I can go on a private project, or a private project, and start to do that mining thing that I've really wanted to do on the moon so far. Speaking of the moon, we have a lot of boosts lying around. I could take control over another spot on the moon. I could set up another base there. Because while I'm getting some metals over there, I am not getting any fissiles. The D'Alembert crater does have fissiles. And these are uranium, thorium, and plutonium, used in nuclear propulsion systems and weapons. I'm not sure how useful they're going to be just now. So I'm not sure if this is the right course of action, but I also get some metal out of it. Alternatively, I can go full out on metal and go for the Mare Imbrium position, or the Copernicus crater, which is going to give me a bit more volatiles as well. Considering that basically everything that you build in space is going to need some form of metal. I mean, let's have a look at Molly Base. I renamed this from Molly Station, because it sounded a bit too much like Molestation, as you guys have said. So hopefully Molly Base is a little better. Anyway, Space Science Lab Tier 1 is going to cost me 0.97 of metals if I want to build it in space. And if I get my current position, I get 5.1. Yeah, let's go for Copernicus Crater, because I get a bit of everything. A bit of volatiles, a decent amount of metal, In fact, the highest concentration and a decent amount of fissiles. Fissiles? Fissiles. Yes. Found an outpost. We are going to do that in the Copernicus crater. It's going to cost me 9 boost. I have 9.8, so it's fairly expensive. Means that my presence on the moon is going to be very important. I'm going to be building stuff on the moon when it becomes available. It is now March 26th, 2024, and something really curious has happened. The United Kingdom, under control of the servants, has declared war on Ethiopia. Why? What could they possibly benefit from that? They have okay control. They got 2 control points. The resistance has 1 that's on crackdown and 1 on solid. Why are you possibly trying to start a war like that? What are you hoping to do in Ethiopia? Is this some sort of revamp of colonialism? I'm not sure. At any rate, I find it greatly amusing that they want to try and take Ethiopia. I bid them good luck because, well, Ethiopia doesn't have an army. But you're going to have to get your army over there. Good luck with that. How are you going to go about that? Oh, they're moving. Arriving April 17th, 2024. So in about 3 weeks. Ah, shit. They're taking over Kyrgyzstan. That's unfortunate. How long? 2 days. Okay. Come on. Stop defending your interests. I want to get Russia. All of Russia. There we go. Okay, Lewis.
Orders?
You, my friend, are currently with the equipped org, the Executioners. He is by far the most capable asset that I have, because he gained 5 espionage, 10 command, 3 admin, and 10 security. So he is extremely well versed in removing unwanted presence, because this is the espionage stat. So right now, over here in Russia, I can have a 40% base chance. I'm going to ramp that all the way up. I'm going to spend all my influence. I want to get full control of Russia.
Ready to go.
As for Iris, don't have a lot for her to do. Go to ground. Let's see if I can get Russia once and for all. There we go. Job done. Purge mission complete. I have taken the control point in Russia, the last one that I needed. That means I'm now in full control, and because of that, I'll be able to start unifying the nation. It seems that the Protectorate is very interested in thwarting my efforts over here. I'm not a big fan. Why on earth are you trying to take Mongolia back? We're going to have to send Lewis in there to have a bit of a discussion with this counselor. Let's see, Lewis.
Acknowledged.
Assassinate a counselor. No, I first need to spot the guy. So you're in Mongolia, right? Let's have a look. I got a lot of ops points, so let's spend some so I can find this guy. And make sure that my newfound control here is going to be defended.
At your service.
Russia, defend interests. It's going to cost me some 20 influence, but that's fine. Means that I cannot lose that last control point. As for Iris, once again, go to ground. I don't have a lot to work. And, well, let's see if I can take down this counselor here. I'm not sure who this guy is. I don't know what their stats are. But they're causing all sorts of mayhem for me in this area, and I cannot accept that. Now, unfortunately, my mission in Mongolia was not a success, but I have detected a counselor over here in the US. It is one from my sort of direct opposing faction, the Servants. So, Lewis, I have a job for you. We're going to assassinate this guy. He has quite a decent stat when it comes to persuasion, and I cannot accept that. So, we're going to eliminate this guy from the board altogether. I have a lot of ops points. I don't want to spend all of them, but an 86% chance to assassinate the guy. Yes, please. Let's go for that.
At your service.
In the meanwhile, I have been gaining quite a bit of support in Europe, in the European Union, so that's Germany and France combined now. I doubt I'll be able to start taking the control point from them, because they still have a lot of support here. But it is becoming a little easier. What I could try and do, and this could be fun as well, is increase unrest. And that means we're going to potentially see a coup over in the European Union. It's not going to be easy, but hey, not much about this particular game is easy. Alternatively, I can try to detain the counselor that I'm about to assassinate, or I can do another assaulting of an alien asset, in Santiago. Yes, the alien megaflora, or megafauna, but I'm not going to do that. Thank you very much. So no, let's stir up some trouble in Europe, shall we? Maybe we can get some very nice impact over there. Actually, maybe we can start to merge countries now. Let's have a look. Job done. Valentin Dostoevsky has been eliminated. That means that the servants have lost a counselor, and potentially quite an important guy at that. Because this was the man. A little while later, the unification between Russia and Kazakhstan is now complete. This means that I spend less on control points, and I have 50 points available for my control point cap. So I might be interested in taking over Belarus, which is currently on crackdown, and the same for Ukraine. These are definitely claimed by the Eurasian Union. So potentially, I can make this even bigger. I can control Russia, I can add Belarus, I can add Ukraine, I can add potentially even more and more and more nations here. Sadly, Mongolia, not one of them. Don't have a claim. I do, however, have a claim on Uzbekistan. It's just going to take me a while to get that. So, progress made in episode 4. We have 2 positions on the moon. We're approaching research which will allow for space mining, so I can actually start to use those positions. We know a bit more about the alien operations. And, well, there is some sort of megafauna rampaging around in the South American continent, but I have no idea where they went. So, yeah, we'll just probably have to see those guys some other time. If you have a good story for the intro for the next episode, by all means, let me know down below in the comments, and I might just select it for the next video. For now, hope you guys enjoyed it, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon for the next episode.